What's up, all? Happy Mother School New Year! We back in this thing for the first time in 2022, and it feels so good. Y'all tune in. We're a little bit late, but it's okay because we was waiting on y'all to get ready to get on, and that's why we was a little late. So now we in this thing. So get in here. Let's go. Time to turn up for 2022. The floor is yours. First episode this year. Flex, drop the intro.
They the Royce new podcast, who want the smoke? Coming raw and uncut like who want this dope? Whatever you want, they for sure to cover the topic. From racial issues to fashion flies to cockpit. Y'all ain't never get it like this, cause they ain't never did it like this. We on our this the way the cookie crumbles for y'all. She gon' bring the inspiration to all. You know what's up with her. And this year manifesting is the vision. And y'all gon' love TJ cause he the realest. From the heart of a mob, they the start of it all. You looking for a holler and holler at Gerard. The professor, nothing lesson coming at you with the lessons. Get your edge if you knowin' what's good for you. They educated, but they still keep it hood for you. Won't need another, this one here really do it for you.
Baby, you need a reason. Yeah, baby, I'm in love for reason. Baby, come down to love for reason. Let me show you how to love for reason. 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 Love for
Yes, y'all. I thought Michelle had turned into Debbie J. I seen her do her arm. I thought her dancing, but I think she was trying to get situated in her shirt. But I was like, yes, turn up then.
Yeah,
Well,
they got that
so
swag on. Mama made it swag. You got that swag on, baby.
I thought you was hitting that swing on them old school Houston songs. Yes, well, we are glad to be back in here, y'all. It's been a while since we've seen y'all. I think the last time we was on was like Thanksgiving-ish. So it's time for us to be back in the thing. So as always, ain't nothing changed in this part of the show. We need y'all to like us on all platforms. Follow us, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Click on all them buttons on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, TikTok. Connect with us, y'all. Okay. So we just want to thank you for being here. And we want to welcome all peoples. Y'all look so good. Y'all got that 2022 glow. You know, two my favorite numbers. So I think this year gonna be a good year. I'm here for it. I'm
Oh,
convinced that God is
regardless.
amazing. Yes. But I'm gonna give it over to you, Debbie J. You jumped in right on time. Good.
Girl, listen, y'all, these have been a trying 9 days. It's like this month is not over with yet. Okay. Anywho, Happy New Year, y'all. It's good to see y'all again. Happy 2020. I do want to reiterate what Miss Cookie said. We need y'all to like, share, invite, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go find us on LinkedIn. We have great shows coming your way, as always. We know producer Flex got some new things coming up and in mind and in store. So we do want y'all to make sure you're connecting with us on all platforms so you don't miss nothing or miss some of the good stuff that we got going on. Who is this? We want to shout out Miss Denisha. Thank you for inviting people to watch. Thank you. We appreciate the love. I see you said that you missed a lot of shows and some new faces. Well, I don't know you, so how you doing, boo? Thank you for tuning in. Also, this is our first show of 2022. We're going to try to spread the joy and positivity and just set the tone for the year, of course. The last couple of years have been trying. This is what we know. We have had to learn to move with COVID and do the Marion because he putting ice box where our hearts used to be right now. Everybody's catching this thing. I hope y'all are staying safe out there. But life is still happening, the world is still spinning, and kids are being born, the loved ones are passing away, and we want to make sure that we are considerate of the people that we're around, because we don't know who we're affecting when we're being selfish and not want to mask up and do our part to slow down this mess. We feel the need to inject some positivity in this chaotic world. That's what we're here for. We're here for y'all. So one way we will do that is by giving away two $25 The Floor is Yours podcast stimulus checks. Flex will give y'all some more information on that. And later on in the show. But if you have shared the show, that's good. If you have, you will be entered into the drawing. If you haven't shared the show, you need to do it now. So that's one way to enter to win one of the $25 that we're giving away. Share the show, tag somebody, let them share it too. You all will be entered, and we'll do the drawing at the end of the show. So, I mean, we need to go ahead and start the show. We 16 minutes in, Miss Cookie. Let's get this thing started.
All right, y'all. So we finna get into the discussion. We know it's the top of the year. A lot of people make New Year's resolutions, or we kind of see the New Year, new me type talk, kind of resetting. It's a good time to do it. So one thing that I see a lot of times, especially in my entrepreneurial world, people want to get rid of weight this time of year. Yeah, I need them. I need to pay my beautician. But
That's what's up, baby. That's what's up.
yes, people ready to get rid of weight this time of year, and we always kind of think about it as a physical weight. In my profession, sometimes you need to be getting rid of other baggage that's holding you down and weighing you down, that emotional baggage, that financial stuff that may be going on, that mental stuff that may be going on. And my honest personal opinion is you should do that shit when it's happening. Don't wait till the beginning of the year. But since it's the beginning of the year, we're gonna talk about it right now. So we want to just talk about, kind of getting rid of that baggage that may be hanging on, weighing us down. We're going to talk about maybe having a lack of discipline, a lack of accountability, which is huge, being unable to forgive people, having financial issues, needing some self-care, because that is very important. It's getting to a point to where they are incorporating that into the education in different jobs and stuff, because self-care is a big part. But we need to figure out how to better our situation so that we can be our best and move in the best way possible and be successful. So the first thing that we just want to kind of get into is a lack of discipline. And when I first started looking at it, it's kind of crazy because in my other job, I teach discipline to foster parents. But when I'm talking about it, it's always about like a punishment type thing. How do you get kids to behave the way that you want them to behave and make the choices you want them to make? But I truly believe that we have to teach discipline young, because one of my thoughts and my standards in my household that I tell my kids all the time, I don't really care what you do when I'm looking. I care about what you do when I ain't looking and when you by yourself. I think discipline has a lot to do with self-regulation. And so when we trying to teach a kid to make good choices, what we're really trying to teach them is make good choices on your own. So that's something that kind of rolls over into adolescence and into adulthood. And if you don't learn discipline, you can't self-discipline. It's something that is taught and something that we have to work on. So not just the punishment aspect of it, but when I looked it up, the definition that I like was to train oneself to do something in a controlled and habitual way. So like it's something that's practice. It ain't just something you pick up and you like, dang, I woke up this morning, I'm self-disciplined. No, you gotta learn that, you gotta incorporate that in life, and you gotta make it part of who you are. We gotta start with ourselves and hold ourselves accountable. And we live in a society where so many times we are talking about what somebody else doing and worried about what somebody else doing and looking at them and talking about them. We set up our standard of living as a standard of judgment to be able to look at other people and critique them, and we shouldn't. When I was little, one of my best friends' mama used to always say, "What you eat don't make me shit," and that's the absolute truth. What you over there doing ain't truly affecting me in the long run. So we got to start with self. and stop worrying about other people. Like, be within your bubble. You got to be intentional when it comes to discipline. Again, it can't just be something that happened, and then you're gonna have to be organized in it. We did vision boards in my household for New Year's, and that was at the top of my list because, like, I do good at the beginning of the year. I'm like, I got my calendar and my planner, and I'm gonna write everything down. And I'm gonna be good. Then we get to be about October, and I'm like, I'm over this. My self-discipline has shut out. But we got to be consistent in having that. And it will help you in all aspects of life. So when we get to talking about losing weight, you got to be self-disciplined. Yeah, you can come work out with me, but if you going home, you working out with me 3 days a week. And the other folk, you at home eating Haagen-Dazs and pizza and hamburgers and french fries every day. How you gonna stay fit? That self part of it is what's gonna play the biggest key in there. If we get to talking about doing better in our business, or doing better in school, or starting a business, all of that is gonna take some level of self-discipline and you staying organized and on topic in what you need to do. Building money, investing, all of it. So I feel like it's the basis of a lot of things that we need in order to continue to grow and to learn and to be better. And then I just feel like in some of it, you got to get uncomfortable to make it happen. But you got to be able to be real with yourself when it comes to self-discipline. You can't candy coat everything. You're going to have to get in there. I see used to say you got to get naked. You got to get naked with yourself in this moment and be able to look at yourself in that moment and know the real you and what's going on. So that's what I kind of feel about self-discipline and just being in line with that. So what's y'all take on it? Like,
hey, I feel like this how you used to do those Sunday school classes, Cookie. You were so thorough about the numbers and everything. That was good. So.
When playing.
Hey, I saw this Facebook post that said that I gotta be disciplined because sometimes I'm not motivated, and that resonated with me because I got a lot going on. And to your point, a lot of times when you're not motivated, you don't got the right people in your corner pushing you. It takes that discipline, and you got to be what you talked about as being intentional and deliberate with it, and that's setting checkpoints, or if you will, or in place beforehand. So, if I got to set alarms on my phone or, take the TV out of my bedroom and, so that I get up and get out the bed, something, but it does take that discipline to get us through the days because sometimes we're not motivated.
Yes. Absolutely. Anybody else on that self-discipline part of it?
Yeah, it's a thing of, I find I stay on the like behind the scenes on social media, like TikToks and all these reels people do. And one of them that stood out to me was when it was, I don't remember all of it, but it was saying nobody's showing up. Like, in other words, ain't nobody showing up to help you work out or to help you get to this next place in life. So nobody's going to show up. So you intentionally have to show up for yourself today. And so when you hear that, that means that I wrote on my calendar for December, it was just saying it's a mindset. And on there I said, I will defeat my mind in this season. And most of the things that we fall back in is a mindset. And the mindset begins to be bogged down by thinking that, we've gotten too old to accomplish certain things, or just really just moving forward. Because after you've raised the children, and well, I speak for me because some of y'all still have children, but after you've raised the children and you've done so much and it's time to focus on you, you have to really defeat your mind to say, you know what, life isn't over. Now when I see 70-year-old people now re-getting their mindset back to get their bodies changed. I mean, it's a white lady I follow, just looking at how they're on social media living their life, but they're getting paid now at 72 to have a lifestyle that accommodates them, not to have to, worry about disability or Social Security. Not saying that they don't deserve it, but then realizing that when I look at my own seed, to know that I didn't have the privileges or the avenues that they have now. We didn't have this big social media platform that we could get out here and I guess you could say digest something or mentally break down and let it evolve into something that was growing, that now brings forth a profit that you don't have to have a degree anymore. You just have to really be you. And so when you look at baggage, I just decided that there is no more life support for me to have for people anymore that doesn't need it. Because some people take you for life support and they don't need you, but as long as you keep breathing life into them, they're looking for you to come back and be that source of lifeline. And at the end of the day, you're left over there still trying to figure out where breath gonna come, and it's just like, and I ain't gonna get too deep into mine because I got to go down there later and talk about it. But that's the beginning of it. So yeah, I don't have a lot of bags to carry. The bag I'm gonna carry is probably just gonna be a crossbody, enough for my cell phone, a little money, some lip gloss, and just go.
Yes.
I would take in. Oh, I'm sorry. I would take in for
I was telling you, you look like you was gonna say something.
Who, Dale?
Oh,
Go ahead,
me?
DJ.
Yeah, I thought
Oh,
she was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say something.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Yeah. So what I was going to say about the discipline, the main thing about it, discipline would be a lot easier if you understood and have a very strong why. You can't say, I'm going to do this just because it's the beginning of the year. That's not a strong why. That doesn't resonate with your soul. Something has to resonate with you inside to make you want to do what you're doing. Like people want to lose weight. Well, why? Because it's the beginning of the year, new me. But why do you want to lose weight? Do you want to look good butt naked? Do you want to look good for your spouse? Do you want to look good for yourself? Like, why do you want to lose the weight? Do you want to have because you want to be healthy? You have some health issues. Mainly, if someone has a strong enough why, they will stick to it. When they have the lack of confidence to do it, the lack of support, and the lack of motivation to do it. If your why is strong enough, you have to find the why that's going to make you do it. Sometimes even your kid is not even a strong enough why. My kid has not always been my strong enough why to make me want to. But like someone on their deathbed and have cancer, they're going to go out, oh, we're going to start eating healthy because now it's a life and death situation and we're going to do everything we can. So when you're looking at changing something in your life, discipline can be a lot more easier if your why is a lot stronger than
That's good.
just because I want to do it. So
That's good, and that's basically what the purpose is. And I just want to throw that in. I know James got something to add, but that's usually the purpose is your why.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this: like last month, I turned 41. Shout out to the whole squad for those belated ass messages on my birthday.
Hey, bro.
So,
Hey,
for the rest of my life, I'm hitting y'all all a day late on y'all birthday. So no, but
Happy New Year.
What I did was, I don't know if some of y'all saw, but I kind of created a little challenge for myself. And what I learned from the challenge that I created for myself is that, you know, sometimes, a lot of times people feel like, you know, you got to motivate yourself to get going. It's kind of like what you were saying, Flex. But what I kind of learned is sometimes like just getting going kind of motivates you to continue going. Yeah, and that's what worked for me. And so like, cause like, I was like, man, I was like, you know, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. every morning and go run a 5K every single day, no days off. I'm just gonna do it for 30 days straight. And it was like hard to kind of just get going. But like on that first day, I was just like, you know, F it. I just got up and I went and I just did it. And then I think like once you get that first one knocked out, and then it just motivates you, like keep adding on. And like I was posting a different shoe every day because I was running in a different shoe. And so my goal was like, I got to add my shoe. And keep going. So when it was cold, when it was raining, when I was tired, I didn't feel like it or whatever, it was like, it'll be whack for me to have ran 18 times, or it'd be whack for me to have run 28 times and only got 2 more to go, and then I fall off. So like that getting going part motivated me to keep going. So
yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I want to add something to that too, real fast. For me, it's mindset, because I can talk about a lot of good things. I got a lot of good ideas. I know a lot of people with a lot of, you know, good ideas and stuff like that. But if your mindset is not right about, you know, acting upon what, you know, those ideas or what you're trying to do or whatever it is you're trying to change, then you're probably not gonna stick to it. You're not gonna be disciplined enough and committed to go through it. So if your mindset is changed about it, man, you pretty much gonna stick with it. But your mindset got to be in the right place.
Yeah.
That's the. I was finna ask you to pop that back up there, Flex. I gotta tell y'all that I don't know if this motivational speech got my kid going, but he just jumped down here and started doing push-ups with a hand clap at the top of the push-up.
Right on.
No, I don't know what this is, but I'm here for it. But
You got a different breed over there. That dude is self-motivated.
he done set up a whole gym in my garage with a punching bag and everything. I'm like, okay, we're here for it.
Right on.
Yeah, uppercuts and body punches.
Yes. If anyone in your boat is drilling holes, let them go. If they can't swim, throw them a floaty and keep it moving or rowing figuratively. I'm learning it for my own peace of mind and mental health. That one is a good one. And
I love Jamel's too.
Actually doing a little bit more than some people would by throwing them a floaty, because some of us be done threw them out the boat and be like, figure it out on your own since you over here trying to sink my boat. But I think that that's really good to be able to ties when you need to cut ties, because some people are driven by other people's desires. They not really trying to fulfill stuff within themselves. They so busy trying to do what somebody else want them to do. But sometimes you got to cut that loose. That was good.
Yeah.
Really,
You
really
know
good.
what? One more thing, Cookie. You had said something when you were talking in the beginning about when people owe you money. Let me say this though. Like that whole new me, new year, that's cool. But money does not have an expiration date. So if somebody owe you, they owe you. Don't be like, oh man, that was 2 years ago, that was 3 years ago. Man, if somebody owe you, they owe you. So don't go above that. And I'm gonna say this: when somebody owe you some money, change their name in your phone to their name plus that dollar amount they owe you, so you won't forget.
Find yourself.
Every time they call you, you'll notice. But if you notice when somebody do owe you, you ain't gonna see them calling you that much anyway.
That's one way to get rid of somebody.
In line with that, James, I think that borrowing money and not paying it back falls into the topic of dysfunction and bad behavior. So I'm gonna just go on and turn that over to you, because that's a bad habit. Don't be getting people money and not giving it back.
Yeah. Now, when I was asked to talk about this, accepting dysfunction and bad behavior, I hit Flex and I was like, if you want me to be a hypocrite, I can talk about it. But actually, I started thinking about it, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff on social media and the news that made me decide to kind of shift it and take it like a totally different direction than what I was asked to talk about. So what I want to address is, when it comes to accepting dysfunction and bad behavior, is I want to talk directly to people that are raising sons. I want to talk to people that have sons, that have young boys. And I also want to talk clearly to some adult men who didn't learn the lesson about what I'm about to talk about, but they need to learn, which is we need to make sure that when it comes to accepting dysfunction and bad behavior, that we're making sure that we are raising our sons to be more accountable for their actions. And we need to make sure that we are raising them to ask for permission instead of later on having to ask for forgiveness, meaning that they're doing things that they shouldn't have done, and then they're trying to apologize for it later. Or, it may be a situation that an apology won't get them out of, and they end up getting 5 to 10 for doing something they're not supposed to be doing. So that's what I want to talk about. We need to make sure that our sons are more accountable, and we need to stop. Another thing we need to stop doing is victim blaming, and that's my shout out to women. Like a lot of times, something that happened between a boy and a girl, and then the first thing you want to bring up is like, well, what did the girl do, or what did she say, or what was she wearing? It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to make sure that we are raising our boys to not try to come up with some type of acceptable excuse for their bad behavior and their poor choices. So we need to make sure that we're raising our young men to do the right thing, so that they won't end up being in these social media posts that I'm seeing and these news reports that I'm seeing with guys getting locked up, or women getting hurt or coming up missing, and all these different things, because they don't know how to handle rejection.
Yeah.
I think that there's this false belief that all women want a man to be a man and take over and take control. Now that may be true when it comes to like, you know, taking care of a woman and handling things so that she doesn't have to stress over something and relax. But this doesn't apply to controlling somebody and trying to make them, you know, do something against their free will. So that's not being a man. And I think that these adult actions start with childhood behaviors. And I think that we as parents need to make sure that we're not negatively enabling our children with, you know, by allowing poor behavior to happen. And I think that like with the enabling, you know, we're protecting them from the consequences of the bad behavior at an early age, and we're trying to keep it on the hush because we don't want to be embarrassed and putting it out there and discussing it and making sure that they know it's not right. And, you know, and I think the other thing that I see people do a lot with kids, like I said earlier, they're making excuses for the poor behavior, which is where I talk about the victim blaming on women. So we need to make sure that we're not just telling them like, oh, like an apology is this magical thing that just makes everything go away. Yeah. Because when it comes down to it, an apology doesn't take away from the wrong that was done to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So we need to stop selling that BS to kids that like, oh, you know, we just apologize all the time. Like that's not making everything better. Now, just a little free game. I think that, and I want to shift it to you ladies, but I'm gonna ask. I just feel like consent and control. You know what I'm saying? Consent can be sexy. Letting a woman be in control can be sexy. I think that I'm gonna ask you ladies. I feel like you can agree that a guy who can remain calm and cool, who can enjoy the moment of allowing anticipation to build and whatever the case may be, by allowing a woman to be in control instead of being some type of over anxious horn dog. I feel that y'all find that sexy. What do y'all think?
Free game.
No, relax, kid.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go. You good, Debbie. Go ahead, because I kind of want him to reiterate the last part of the question. But go ahead. You go ahead, and I can probably just flow after just listening to you.
Well, my deal is whenever a man just lets you be you and you in whatever setting, that's sexy. Not a man expecting you to act a certain way and do something in a certain sense. If I'm getting your question correctly, that's how I'm seeing it. Just let that woman be.
You're absolutely correct.
Okay, yeah, just letting that woman be her in that sense. So my deal is a woman taking control, or yeah, sometimes a woman's going to have more knowledge than a man in certain areas, this, that, and the other. By all means, let me take that role if you're lacking in that role, because we're here to complement each other. So yeah, and then letting her be who she is. That's the most sexist thing you can do, instead of having these false expectations of what you see online. So.
Free game, fellas. Y'all hear that?
Right there. Now, I like the part about like letting them be herself. So I'm gonna throw it in here like this. Say that when a man, a woman is approached by a man and you handle the situation, but then you later go back and tell the man or whatever, and they go like this. Well, you should let me handle it. No, like you said, letting her control it. If I'm strong enough, you know, to handle to say, hey, don't come to me that way. Don't approach you that way. Now, if that man keeps going over those boundaries, then I'm going to go to my man and say, do this. And I found that at times, even if you don't tell them in the very beginning, they're like, well, you should let me handle it. No, not with your disposition. Because my thing is, I want you to know that I'm strong enough to say, hey, don't come to me that way, because I have morals, values, and respect for who I'm with. But I'm going to handle it first. And then if I can't, if that man proceeds to keep going, then I'm going to go get my protector, as per se. But some men don't seem to like that. They feel like they should just have to handle it right off the top. And I feel like you should be able to trust your woman to be able to say, I can, you know, handle this. And if I can't, I know who to come to in that regard. Yeah,
that's good. And I think that boundaries piece is a real important part of it, what James is talking about. Like you said, apology is not going to always get you out of it. But what I'm seeing, I'm around a lot of women who are vocal. They know what they want and they express what they want. And for of a woman to put out what she expect, what she don't want, and make it clear to a person, and for them to keep pushing, I just think it's the ultimate disrespect, and it's just no room for it these days. So when you end up having to be held accountable for it, I mean, I don't feel sorry for you. I'm gonna be honest.
And to be perfectly clear, I am talking about specifically in intimate situations where men are like forcing themselves because they can't handle rejection. And so, like I said, I think that we need to make sure that we're teaching our boys at a very early age these attributes of accountability. And like I said, not enabling them with this, because enabling, it provides this negative sense of encouraging the dysfunctional behavior. And they're going to keep growing up thinking that it's okay because, you know, nobody got on my ass about it when I was little, or, you know, you see your mama take up for you when you know you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or you see your daddy talking about like, oh, the boys be boys. And I'm like, no, we can't do that, because like, I think it's important for us, like we can't control these kids when they're out and they're grown, they're adults and they're on their own. But I think it's important, and it's our job to make sure that we provide them with all the tools and the instruction so that they can't say, I didn't know, or no one told me when I was young.
Well, since you're getting on the men on that part of handling the rejection, let me get on the women though, because you don't have to be rude to reject someone. Because a lot of these women are just flat out rude when, how dare he come to me? Like, okay, if he was sexy and he was everything that you want to check off, you wouldn't have no problem with him approaching you. But since he might have a lazy eye and few extra pounds, you think, how dare he come step to you? Hey, he sees something nice, hell, you presenting yourself as something nice, he's going to approach you. So that doesn't mean you have to be rude and disrespectful too when you're letting someone down as well, because some of these women are just downright rude. Not saying that men have the right to handle the rejection badly, but sometimes these women do need to be cussed out because they rude as hell. And I mean, not cuss them out, but I mean, it goes both ways. You do not have to be rude, and you do not have to be disrespectful when you're letting someone down.
I agree with that, but I think that sometimes some women feel like they have to be that direct, because like when you try to be nice, some guys think that that's an invitation to kind of keep it going. So I think that no matter how you are rejected or how you are turned down, you eat that and you move on. Like I said, like, let's make consent sexy in 2022. How about that?
So watch this, and James, you are correct. However, what I've been seeing lately, they better teach their daughters, because I've seen some women, or some young girls, I should say, pin up some men on some walls in the club, baby, almost like they want to just get them right then and there. And so my thing is, it should be the same standard, because men have the right to say no too, because, you know, someone be about to get, I mean, just toe up like a piece of meat off the bone. And I've actually seen this on this like scene. And when you look at it, you be like, so this how they carry themselves now, or approach men and do men. So when the men saying, you know, gone out, that don't mean he's not a punk to me. That man just saying, hey, don't do that. I don't even look at you as a lady. So it's kind of in this area that we live in. I believe it goes. It's gonna have to be on both sides of the coin. Men and women are going to have to talk to their sons and daughters, because it's really out of control.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. Like, you know, especially like some women, like if you reject some women, like, oh no, I'm not. Oh, you gay or something? You know what I'm saying? Like it happened like that. They get real disrespectful with it. I know I can attest to that personally. Like being in work environments where I believe that you don't get your bread where you get your meat, and vice versa. So you don't want to talk to people where you work at, and then some women will come at you like crazy, like because they can't handle that rejection either, and that's all good. And I agree with you, but let's be real about it. In this day and age, if a dude grab a girl on the ass, he can go to jail. But if a girl do that, like a cop gonna tell them to go on about their business. And I know that ain't right, and it may not be fair, but that's the world that we live in. So we have to make sure that we are teaching our young boys, who are typically the stronger sex in situations, the more forceful, that you can't be doing that. And like I said, you gotta, it's okay to ask permission. You cannot be thinking like, oh, her mouth saying no, but her body saying yes, because that's gonna get you 10 to 15 from somebody else who ain't gonna take no from you.
Oh yeah. All right, I'll get some heat pulled on you, because these women.
Yeah. And they got brothers and crazy uncles too.
Yeah. But you know what? On another note, though, we gotta go back to the basics. Like we gotta look back at how people are raised in the foundation. Man, we got to realize, man, a lot of people are being raised by kids. You know what I'm saying? Look what's going on. I mean, I was looking at a clip today. There was some kids in, like, I think in New York, Chicago, man. They like 15. They was carjacking somebody, and they knew how to drive. So who teaching these kids this? You know what I'm saying? Like, we saying we got to teach them, but how are we going to be able to teach all of these kids not to be, and then they're influenced by these other kids. So now what we're seeing is a lot of the good kids being influenced by the bad stuff that's going on. And even though they have a good foundation, but they still, influenced by this bad stuff, man. I mean, look, man, every time you turn around, it's somebody, it's a shooting somewhere, and these kids ain't even old enough to even, how do they know how to do all this stuff?
It's no magic bullet, but at the end of the day, we talk about the self accountability and the parents. Man, that's the first line of defense, and teaching is the parents, and then the teachers.
The parents in the village. The parents in the village.
So we need to get back to the village. Get back to the village.
Anybody that you come into contact with, letting them know that that's not cool, that's not right. And like I said earlier, everybody not going. We can teach these kids everything that we know, and they're not gonna always do the right thing. Like somebody gonna still be an F up, but but they can't say I didn't know. So it's our job to make sure that we give them the tools and give them the blueprint. Like I said, it's up for them to build.
Yes. And then I think a lot of it is as far as like with our kids as well, parents so busy a lot of times they ain't paying attention to what their kids doing. So the kids going to school and they're around certain people all day, then a lot of parents still at work after school. So the kids doing what they want to do on their front. So that kind of fall back into the discipline part of it. Do your kids know to say no? Like, do they have a gun to say no? Because then they get bullied, they get pressured, they get oh, you soft, you this, that, and the other, especially with boys, because they taught to be aggressive from jump. Like, and actually, me and one of my best friends was talking about this. When my kids was little, I used to fight on them all the time. And it's like, he a boy. I'll walk by and just push him down. And it's like, but he a boy. That's what we do. That's what we do. But why do they have to be like that? Why are boys told don't cry? Like, why are boys told you can't have feelings or whatever? And if everything in life is be aggressive, I fight and I push and I do this, that, and the other to get what I want. You grow up to be a teenager that's doing that to get what you want. Oh, I like them shoes you got on. I'm going to take them. I like that money you got because you flashing it on Facebook. I'm going to take it. Yep. And so, I mean, they seeing it in the media. I didn't even know music videos still existed, y'all. But they seeing it on the TikToks and all this money and the guns and the this, that, and the other. So they want that lifestyle. But then it got to be countered. And we can't just talk about it within our own homes. Because for the most part, us six, like, you laid the foundation within your household. We need to get outside the walls of our household because there's other kids out there that need their help.
Yeah. And they have more, and like to kind of touch on what you were saying, they have more access to stuff than we did because they have YouTube and TikTok and all these other different social media platforms. And they're posting this one narrative. So honestly, to me in my house, I know I'm not on that stuff where this isn't allowed, because I know that they're gonna get exposed to that anyway. So I'd rather allow it, and we can have a conversation about it, and like let you know, like them dudes not built like that. Like you hear him rapping all hard right here, but here's him doing an interview at home with his family. He got a wife and kids. He not built like that. Or this kid. He ain't shot nobody in his whole life. He ain't did this. He ain't did this. This is him a year before he became a famous rapper, where he was a middle school kid being a nerd, a geek on YouTube. They showing the video, and you see the boy. I was talking to my nephew. You see the boys in the hood, hoodie and all that kind of stuff, and that's cool because they just know they just know it from just from the pop culture aspect of it. But like, let's talk about the actual movie. Like, there's a dope part in the movie that tells you about gentrification, and that's still going on in this day and age. And that movie was 30 years ago. So like, those are the type of things that when they are exposed to these things, we need to make sure like they know that ain't real. Them boys ain't really living like that. They not feel like that. And so
And the ones that did try it, hey, show where they are. They locked up or they
But
dead.
I did.
I seen this thing today on Facebook. There was a picture of Lil Jon from like when he was in school, and then now, and like he looked like such a nerd in school. They was like, "This the dude that had us turn up the club." He had on these big old glasses,
big
and he was like
glasses.
little bitty skinny. And I'm like, "Cause maybe that song come on and folks get to acting up." But
His
that's
mama was a head
their
nurse.
shoulders.
He grew up in a 3-story house.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Debbie J, after all of that, like now we need some forgiveness in there, because if you done grew up around all this bad stuff, sometimes you gotta let that baggage go and forgive it to move on. So talk to us.
Hey, forgiveness begins and ends with you. I'm gonna make mine quick, brief, and straight to the point, because forgiveness, a lot of people say that they even forgave someone and really haven't. What you have done is suppress the emotions, and you have suppressed the situation, and you haven't really dealt with it. And when you don't deal with something, it comes out just like alcohol comes out in your pores when you sweat. When you getting into a tough situation or just dealing with certain things in everyday life, that unforgiveness can come out. So I can personally say, y'all know I take everything personal, and I got personal store for everything. Personally, my parents, I do not have a good relationship with my parents. I don't talk to my father and my mother. We probably talk about once a month. My dad did raise me, my mom didn't. That's why I'm a little rough around the edges. But the thing is, I thought I forgave them. It's whatever. I'm living my life growing up, and I'm treating my daughter differently than the way I was treated and how I want to be treated. So with that being said, I noticed some of those aspects and some of that harbored feelings that I had suppressed down start coming out in the way that I was parenting. Oh, behold me. I just thank God for the revelation that I caught it and I saw it and I was able to go get help. I ain't ashamed to tell nobody I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy. I go every Monday, 9 a.m. Don't call me, because that's my therapy time. I had to learn to forgive. And the way that you forgive is you have to, like I said, it begins and ends with you. You have to forgive yourself, because you take on, as a child, when things happen to you at a younger age, you take on a lot of the guilt, and you take on a lot of, oh, it's my fault. And you do it self-consciously. You're not doing it, oh, my parents got divorced because of me. Like, you're doing it self-consciously. So with that being said, when you're going with trying to forgive someone, start with yourself first. And then another thing with forgiveness, there is levels to it. You just can't say, I'm gonna wake up today and I forgive this person. You actually have to put in the work. You have to talk about your feelings. Once you can put it into words, you can start dissecting it. Also, going to someone that you can trust to get a different insight of the situations or the things. One of the things I had to see was I thought a friend did me so wrong, y'all. I thought a friend did me truly wrong, and I am a very loyal person. But when I had talked about it with my therapist, she made me come to realize, well, this is who that person is. You've been accepted it. You accepted this, and you but when it comes to you, you don't accept it. So this person has always been like this. So that is not that person's fault that they did you like this, because you have always accepted it. It just happened to be turned back on you. So with that being said, you can't be mad at them, because you have always accepted them. Now you want to change, and you're the one switching up on them, if you want to point blame. And I'm like, oh my God, that kind of blew my mind. So I forgave that person. That person didn't even know. I forgave that person and everything. And it's just the fact that I had to go and talk it out. So with that being said, with forgiveness, you want to forgive yourself first. You want to find someone that you can confide in and get a different insight of it. Someone that you trust, that actually got a good head on their shoulders, and not just your homeboy that you've been knowing since elementary that's supposed to know all about you. No, you need someone that has some intellectual deep thought that can help you process something and not just give you the top layer. You want the meat and potatoes, the inside of it. But forgiveness can carry a lot of weight, and you're carrying all that extra baggage for nothing because these people have moved on with your life, and here you are still stuck because you're feeling some kind of way and you're in your feelings. Let it go and let God just deal with them on the end if you've been done wrong. But you will feel better and do better for yourself and have better health if you just learn to let a lot of stuff go, but process it before you let go. Because just suppressing the feelings and suppressing it will not do you justice in the long run because it's going to come out eventually.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like this comment. It says, I'm learning to forgive, but I do not have to forget. I think that's important. A lot of people say that if you remember it, you haven't truly forgiven. I reject that. I think God gave us our memories so we can understand those things that hurt us before so that we don't go through them over and over. You go on and say it's not possible to forget. I don't like when people say that I'm a living being. I don't have amnesia, so I'll never forget. Good point. Now, she goes on to continue though. However, ruminating holds me back at times to truly forgive and move forward. So
yeah, I think if you continue to recycle that in your mind, and every time you see that person or even think about it, then I think you're doing yourself a disservice because you're truly holding on to something. Like Deb said, the other person that went on with their life.
Yeah,
and here you are still holding on to it. So I think you're doing that. You're doing yourself a disservice when you do that. So you got to move on.
I think it depends on what it is too, right? And I think I would agree with that. Sometimes you got to remove yourself from that person, get them out your life. If what they did is so damaging and hurtful, you got to get them on, and that would keep you from healing too. I don't know. I see.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like being on the elephant with the chain on, and he has the power to move, but because his mind has bound him in thinking that the chain was heavier than him and he couldn't move it, he just stayed there when he could have been gone. And I didn't get that analogy till later on in life, but it made a lot of sense. He was powerful enough to just get that thing and move on, but because he had been, the unforgiveness, we'll just use it as a form of unforgiveness, being attached to it, you're bound in your mind. And I commend you, Sister Deb, for, I should say Radiant Flower, because that's what I call y'all, Radiant Flower, for just, being transparent and just saying that, we don't want to talk about therapy when really that's what it is. And I always have talked about prior shows about personal rehab, facing, because in order to get to that place, to even get there, you had to face it. And to listen at you, to sit here and hear you say your relationship with your mom and dad, on how it was, and you being raised by the father and everything, I can attest to that. My dad hadn't been around him. Now he texts us every day. I can thank him for that, and that's better there. My mom, I'm not gonna say we have a band, but I could probably talk to her probably once a month too, or something like that. But I was always with my mom. I had to realize, I was like, people try to say we're a product of our environment. Now I began to realize I was a product of the dysfunction that she never talked about. So then when I got to the point to address the dysfunction with her, we were always taught not to ask questions, not to speak on anything. And if we did ask those questions, it was a form of disrespect. How is it disrespectful when I need to address you for something that I've watched with my eyes, that have been a recording all of my little young life? And now that these things come up, I don't want to carry this baggage into how I vibe with my children, how I raise my children, just as you said. And when you begin to catch those things, as you stated, it was an eye-opener for you to say, wait a minute now, this is something familiar, not that I wanted to do with her, but something I know that was from a part of a relationship with my mother or my father. And it was the dysfunction that's never addressed. So I just began to say, well, hey, you my mom, and I'm saying this respectfully because this isn't disrespectful, but in other words, if that makes you feel a little tender, then hey, I'm not sorry for asking it, because this is what's needed to be said and to be addressed. So I commend you for that, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Yeah, it just took a lot of growing and self-reflecting, and just being transparent with yourself too. Because when you're forgiving, I don't like the forgive and forget. I don't like that term, only because you want to forget it. because you're harboring it for no reason. It's done. You can't change it. Forget. You just move a little different because now you know how to deal with that person. And it's still you're still not holding on to it. You just change up a little bit, and how you deal with people. Okay, if I lend you $500 and you're not the type of person, you didn't pay me back, okay, I'm still gonna be your friend. You're just not getting $500 again. I'm not holding on to that grudge because I never should have gave it if I couldn't give it up in the first place. So that's on you. That was a lesson learned for you. But holding on to it, no. Not forgetting, forget it. What's the point of keep running it around in your head? It's only going to make you more mad, more bitter, and you won't be able to see or view that person again. That person probably was a really good person, but hell, they had bad money problems. You aided to their money problem, and now you mad at them for not giving you back.
So in that instance, when I say you ain't gonna forget, you're not gonna forget because you just made the decision. You're not gonna give them any more money. So what I'm saying like that, so you're not gonna treat them wrong or anything like that. You still be friends.
Right, I like what you said.
A lot of people let them go. They just, I'm not your friend no more because you didn't give me my $500 back. Like, no, you shouldn't have gave it in the first place if you was gonna be like that.
I like what you said.
They had a mama problem.
Gerard, when you said when you were talking about releasing people, because sometimes we keep people around for comfort and convenience. We know that we should really just cut the cord, but because there's that sense of somebody tending to you, or just occasionally they check up on you, because you're trying to figure out life, but there's nobody there really to give you that nurturing part of that affectionate part. So you will indirectly hold on to that person, and you know what it does? It keep you stuck. There is no going. But I'm gonna leave that right there for a minute. I'm gonna let my baby T Will, my homie, for my tears, because I'm gonna just dip into that. Because I'm gonna be naked with my stuff today, baby.
Well, on that finance thing, right? Like let's get on this finance thing a little bit. The advice I want to give people about people's finances, man, like. Save. You can't do anything like people say, oh yeah, you can invest or you can buy this with no money down. Man, look, unless you got 800, 700 credit score and all that stuff there, you can do stuff like that. But the thing is, it takes something to make something, right? So my first thing with that is save. You know what I'm saying? It's like a 70-30 rule, and that's like even you can start at the 80-20 rule. Spend 80, save 20. Spend 70, save 30. And when I say spend, that's everything that's essential to take for you to live every month. You know what I'm saying? Including your bills, everything like that. Though everything in that 70%, in that 30%, you need to put back and save. And when I'm telling you, when I say save, don't put it in your checking account. Your checking account might have $100, $200, $300. You can't make nothing off of the checking account. At least you can make something off your savings account. It might not be that much, but at least you're making, because what these banks are doing, they are using your money in your accounts to invest. You just don't see it. It's just like that computer program running in the background. So if you have a little money, put it in your in your saving account, save it, let it earn you a little interest, and then you can invest from there and kind of make moves. You know what I'm saying? Also, make sure. This is a thing of mine. I don't know how many people do this or not, but I don't. The debit card I got, but I don't never use it. Reason being, I use credit cards for everything. Let me tell you why. Because if somebody steals your credit card account, that company is gonna go after them. Let them get into your bank account. You're going to have hell trying to get your money back. That's why I don't use it. It's like I used to do it in the past years ago. I would go to these little shabby little gas stations, and I noticed like, damn, how somebody get my information out of my debit card? I got to change my debit card. I got to change all this shit around now. I'm like, man, okay. So I learned the hard way not to use your debit card for nothing. I mean, no internet purchases. Don't use it, period. If you have to, throw it away. I just keep it just in case I have to use it for something in an emergency. But I use everything on credit. Like, my credit is that's everything for me. I leverage that. And if people understood how valuable credit, man, credit is almost more valuable than money right now. If you have good credit, my right hand, you can walk in any bank, any institution, anything, get what you want. But your credit have to be stellar. You have to show these people that, I pay my stuff on time. I'm responsible enough to handle credit. Once they see that, they'll give you anything, and that's what increases your credit score anyway. So, that's just a tip to make sure everybody, just keep your credit in check, because it's really not hard. It goes back to, what Cookie was saying earlier about discipline. That's really all it's about. And being in that mindset of keeping yourself disciplined enough for you to go out and utilize this credit. But if you don't feel like you're disciplined enough, don't touch it. Yeah. Man, having bad credit is like not even having a life.
That's feel another thing. There's some generational though. Because like coming up, if you didn't learn about it coming up, what you do, turn 18 and them people sent you out on credit cards and you was like, we're gonna sign up for these things. And then people turn around and go redo life, and how long it take them to get credit back together.
Oh man.
To your kids. So like pass that down, but generationally, because our parents didn't have it, they didn't know what to teach it to us. So we had to learn it the hard way. Get a game to your kids, because people that got money, they giving their kids the game, and their kids set up to be successful before they ever even. When they in the womb, they already setting them up to be successful later on in life.
Yeah, because our parents was trying to survive. I mean, if you look at it, a lot of us didn't grow up with the necessities that the amenities that we have now. We grew up poor. I was one of the people that grew up dirt poor, and I refuse to be that way as an adult. What I do is I look at the mistakes my parents made, the people before me made, and I learn from them. I move different. For someone to have bad credit now, it's a conscious decision for you to have it. And I'm only saying that because there's so many resources out here and so many things that we can do to change that narrative. And you just got to put in the work and want to do it. You can't just say, well, no one never taught me. Listen, you can go to YouTube right now. I can't tell you how to change oil, but I can go to YouTube right now and pull up a video, and I can learn how to change the oil in my car. You just got to go get the information. It's right here at our fingertips, literally. And so when people are growing and people saying, oh, it must be nice. Yeah, it's nice. You can have it too, boo-boo. Go, come follow the footprint. It's too many footprints out here for us to learn from. And like they say, people say, I lost my train of thought.
Bring it back, Lord. Bring it back.
I know, but bottom line, if you want to know something and you want to do better, hey, everything is out there for you to be able to do it. Point blank.
That's right. Yeah. Cool. All right. We up on I see now.
There we go. Back to the mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
That is it. That is it, man. That is it, Tiffany.
Because now I'm gonna flow off it. Well, now that they say this, I'm up next, so I'm gonna flow off into that mindset with financially. Because at this point in life, now when I was younger, started out doing hair. I was probably about 20, 21. First year, $53,000 first year. I can tell you times that I've known that I've had I can make $10,000 in a month, and that was way back in the 1900s, right? However, I bought my first home when I bought my first home for my children when I was 21. We were there, so I did the things back then, and I raised them, to be able to have a foundation, because we didn't have that with my mom and everything. And there's times my mom lived with me. There's times I turned into the parent. And but then my mom didn't have this foundation. Her mom was gone and she was 18 months old. So her grandmother raised her. But then by 26, she didn't have a grandmother or a mother. So she didn't have any financial guidance to say this how it was. But then I remember being on the system. I got food stamps and a welfare check, and I didn't want the check because that little check was like $162. I'm like, babe, I can't do nothing with this. And food stamps was a little major, about $300. I could do a little something, buy food and all that. But that me going through that phase of life showed me why I didn't want to depend on the system, because that was not going to be survival for me. And that's when I went to beauty school, and I actually wrote a letter to the Department of Human Services and everything, all that, and they actually put it on the billboard. I was like, honey, this helped me know that wasn't a lifestyle that I wanted to rely on. And but I'm not saying for those that are on it, I'm not talking down on y'all. I'm just saying what it did do for me and how it pushed me not to want to be on the system, because it is a form of control. They want to know all this information. You can't do this, and we get stuck in that mindset to want to stay that way. And raising my children, I look back at it now, I missed out a lot of time, because at the time I was, I got this money. We had things and all of that. So by the time my son got to probably the 9th grade, then I had my youngest child, my mindset began to be different. I needed to know how to master money, time, and then family. And most of the time we're just managing the money, but then the time with the family is missing, and we don't have all these different things. And so now to finally be 48 years of age here, I've mastered money, time, family, and living, right? Not that I heard it, but I heard people have families that say, you got to work hard, you got to do this. No, you have to work smart. You have to work effectively, so that you can enjoy all these things, because there's no need for me to have a house that's $300,000 and that house doesn't even see me at least 15 days out of the month. Now that I am where I am, I have learned that I have mastered all that I take care of now is over my head, my car note, life insurance, car insurance, all of those things and necessities, but I don't have major debt anymore. And I'm happy for that. Now that's one thing I finally can just really, I don't have to worry about if I'm going to get tires on my car, that I gotta decide if that's gonna affect my rent or my life. I remember those days. You hear me? And to be in that place, to feel good, to be able to just, hey, I'm gonna go my 800 for these tires, and everything is paid, but I still have a, like T Will said, a savings account, and things like that I'm able to function. And then now, looking at life and being able to finally balance it, that I didn't realize the capacity of how I work now. I work literally probably 15 days out of the month. I work 3 days off 5. I work 3, then I'm off 3 again, right? But at the end of the day, I've learned to be able to go home to a house that I pay for, and I live it. I live in that home now, and I enjoy it. If I want to do nothing but lay across the bed, I can do that. But everything is okay. And so when I looked at it, somebody said, well, you technically almost only work 6 months out of the year. I never looked at it like that. And I always had this mindset that I wanted to retire at 40. Now, had I managed money differently when I was 21, I would have been able to retire at 45 on the money that I made then. But because I didn't have the management to invest in all those things, and I'm not beating myself up, because yet time is still on my side, because I'm only 48, so that's a good thing, right? Learning how to do your numbers, because so many people think that cash is king and that you just throw your money, like if you at your credit brand, you be like, well, I want this car. Well, to get in it, you got to take them $17,000 or 20 G's just to get in it. But if your credit was right, it wouldn't be that, because now you have the balance of power of credit and money. Credit and cash, I should say it like that. And so I've learned all of these things now. I'm thankful for it. But then what I look at now, I now see my children. Even though I may have been a different route, to see my seeds doing it the way T Will was saying it, and how they're living, and my children are, going traveling to Spain and living life, and doing all of these things, but they still managed, and to have my daughter to have a husband that helps her see those things, and they do it together. Even though it didn't go that way for me, it is a joy and a privilege to be living on earth, to see my seeds now walking. Even if I was ineffective and had a little bit of dysfunction, but they chose another route, even if they see me changing in a different time form of my life. So to be able to go see my kids and to spend time with them, it means a lot. So that was how I hit that. So I'm going to fall into this. My part was about, I'm going to selfishly, at this point, I'm selfishly taking care of me this year. 22, not just this year, but from here on out. I'm selfishly taking care of me. And it had been, I think the man said earlier, I think, Debbie, you were going to chime in on it when he said something about doing it alone. I can't remember. It was Joel. He was saying something about sometimes we do it, we are afraid to do it alone. And that for me was like, here I was at 48, and you looking at life again. Okay, taking a lazy approach with resolving the issue, or being too afraid to actually face it alone. That part right there stood out, because now here I am, just me, no husband, children are living their life. I literally have to face this thing. And me truly not wanting to face me put me in a mindset that I can start working out and be strong for 21 days. And you know what I would do? I would fall off the roller coaster. And it wasn't the fact that I went to sugars or sweets or anything. I stopped eating effectively. I stopped moving my body, all because now I'm at war with my mind. Now, what does the next chapter look like for me? Who's going to be a part of that? Well, watch this. If ain't nobody going to be a part of it, this little yellow girl with the blonde hair going to have to be effectively, selfishly loving her, moving forward, flourishing no matter what. In the essence, that time allows in the pattern and the journey is for somebody to be attached to me, then I'm going to be the healthiest place that I am possibly, because I choose to now nurture every part of me, mind, body, and spirit, and to know that it's all right. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing broken. The best thing that I've learned is I found the best part, and that's being with me, because so many times we are so many fathers for different people. T. Will is probably the husband and daddy. You know, all of us are something, a parent, let's say that. Then we go to our jobs and we're faucets for them, and we do all of these different things, and we forget to come back to the person. And I need to wake up in the morning and say, girl, I love you. I'm proud of you. Yeah, you missed it yesterday, but you know what? Today is a new day. You don't have to wallow in it. That is what it is. But I take the time to selfishly say now that I'm going to selfishly tend to me, and I'm not going to be apologizing for it. I'm just going to do it, honey. And if that don't flow with the rhythm that you in, honey, guess what? It's a farewell song. I ain't mad at you. I don't want you to be mad at me, honey. I'm gonna bloom, baby. But I know, it's time for me to refill my own ground and to go back into planting the right season. I'm gonna water them correct, and I'm gonna flourish them. If some weeds coming, I'm pulling them out. No harm, no foul. Nothing against you, but it's better for me to be the best me for me. Because I've been it to everybody else, and there ain't nothing wrong with being there. So I'm learning to balance being selfless and selfish, and I'm going to do it selfishly. You hear me? Yeah.
Right on, right on.
Amen. Amen.
Hey, I like what you said. How if you miss the day, that you don't beat yourself up. You just come back the next day and pick up, and that's important.
Yeah.
Because again, as motivated as you are, some days you're off.
What I learned from my son, he says this every time. Let me say that. Y'all know me. I talk about these kids. These kids are mine. They have me. They like tears, but I be like, y'all helping me, because there's a move that I gotta make. And y'all, I told you, right, I've been wanting to make this, and I'm making it. I'm making a move, right? And we'll talk about that later. But my son said, I say this every day. He says, you always get up and you say, I'm 1% better than I was yesterday. So every day I get up, I say, I'm 1% better than I was yesterday. And as long as I can do 1% every day the next day, then that means I'm gonna get to that 100% because I'm doing it 1% every day. And then I had to go back to what Debbie J, somebody said, I'll just say it like this, about keeping people, attached to you, right? And sometimes you can go through these breakups and these divorces and all that, but you'll still let that person be right, because you think you can be friends, and you really can. But at the end of the day, once you can't be friends when one got feelings in the wrong area, right? But then at the end of the day, it's disheartening when you can be friends, but then you still can't have a conversation. I don't want to be with nobody that we can't have true conversation and always turn into something. And so what happened, and then I'm gonna say that not even just female, like romantic or intimate relationship. I'm talking about with friendships too. So many times we hang on to some people that we really need to let that be what that's gonna be, and we cordial and we go. But we still always talking about everybody the homegirl. No, we're not. We really not. We hold on to them because it's something they feed that we need to really cut out, because it's really a source that we really don't need to have in our life. And so I had to learn that over these last 4 years, and I had to really face myself and look at it. I'm like, you done held on to a crutch. And you allowed it because there was some form of attendant there that made you still feel like that little safe place, because probably wasn't nobody else saying nothing to you, right? Checkmate. Mm-hmm. Checkmate. Yeah. So that's my truth. We be truthful on her truth. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So going forward with these friendships, you need to be asking yourself, what are they giving to you and what are you giving to them? Because if y'all not helping each other get anywhere, what are y'all there for?
Let me tell you what
you're
that
not going to hold each other accountable. Why are you there?
You remember that statement? Oh, them my ride or die chicks. Honey, let me tell y'all truth about some of the rides. Some of y'all ride and die. You dying and y'all steady riding. They breathe no life into you. You just dying. So we ain't riding and die. I don't need no ride or dies, baby. You better ride with me, baby. I'll do some development and some growth, because riding and dying ain't working. Oh, it ain't working. Y'all over there dying, they ain't know how to give you CPR.
And I think
Y'all
earlier
maybe
you said
y'all
that
to pull
we
it,
do it
maybe pull
for,
a string.
you said we do it for comfort and convenience. The other thing we do it for is commitment. This been my friend for all these years, or I've been in this relationship for all these years, or we got married, so now I gotta stay there. You better let it go. I don't care how much time you invested in it, if you don't want to spend the rest of your life pouring into something that ain't no good for you anyway. You better let it go.
Yeah, because if you look back at it, if you're in anything, you can watch how you can be supportive to someone and you go into their world and they're, doing the things they want to. But then when you come to yours, they ain't stepping in there. They're not saying nothing to you. They're not, and that's even in relationships. It's not supposed to be to that capacity because at the end of the day, that we are being sacrifices for the needs of other people. No, I'm
Better
leaving.
let it go.
And I know it's Cookie, it's your time to move on. So this is my little saying. I'm gonna say that I said before. We gonna live while we living, but we ain't gonna die while we live.
Yes,
Amen.
yes.
Another
Wrap it
love
up.
TKO.
Wrap it up, Flex.
Yeah.
Baby J, it's actually your turn.
Hey, Flex, let's hit this commercial real quick. Let's take a quick commercial break. We have went over time. We gotta get this in though. Give us this commercial break real quick, Flex. You ready for it?
Success ain't gonna happen overnight. It may take a year, it may take 2 years, it may even take 10 years. For some people, it might take even longer than that. But one thing I do know, as long as you keep fighting and staying consistent, you will make it. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you gonna make it?
Creed. Step in that water, step in that water, step in that water. Yeah. You gotta be willing to go out and get it. You gotta dive in it, go and get it. Step in that water, step in that water, step in that water. Yeah. You got
Baby,
Hey, so
get
if
out
you
the
don't
boat.
know,
Baby, when I heard that, get out the boat, walk on water. That's what I heard right there. Get out the boat, step on
I
the
just
water.
faith. So if y'all didn't know, now you know. That is Miracle Hendricks. He is the official barber of the Floor is Yours podcast. He is located here in the DFW, specifically in the Colony. So if you need to come visit and get your hair tightened up, or you live in this area, get your line up straight, go pay him a visit and say the Floor is Yours podcast has sent you over. So Miss Cookie, now it's your turn.
Yes. So again, y'all, remember to follow, like, subscribe on all social media platforms. Connect with us, talk to us, and invite other folks. I know you coming, but bring your homegirl and them too. Them ones that y'all finna give up them commitments to, send them over here before y'all cut ties with them. Okay, don't send them this way first. But we want to connect to as many people as we can and grow our audience, y'all. So now, y'all like them giveaways. I like them giveaways too. Flex said he giving away some money. So we gonna give away two $25. The floor is yours stimulus checks. Flex, I don't know if it's just like what I'm on today, but I can't see no chat. So if you send me a message on here, I'm not gonna see it. So like text me or something. Cause I ain't gonna be able to tell you who the boom, there it is. So our
Boom.
winners are
There
Latrice
it goes.
Eckford and Nikki Laquana. I said that right.
But
Look
y'all,
like
I
it's
ain't
me.
seen them all night.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
they both
Latrice
share.
Eckford and Nikki Laquana.
Yeah. So hey, y'all know what to do. Go ahead and inbox the show with your Cash App. If you don't have Cash App, Zelle. If you don't have one of those, we're just gonna have to mail you something. So let us know how you want us to send you whole $25. It
Well,
might not seem
I'm
like
gonna be
money.
honest. Well, child, because I know we was trying to bless somebody other people. They trying to go all the way around the world, wanting me to. Oh no, baby, you ain't got no access to get this money. We gonna have to just give it to people that can get it.
Let me tell you something. If we giving away free money, go on to download Cash App. It ain't cost you
I
damn
mean,
dollar.
for 15 minutes, get your money.
Yes. And huge shout out to Flex. He always giving back, giving to the community and encouraging our viewers. So thank you. Y'all get with us, inbox us so we can get y'all money. Hey. All right,
Money.
y'all. Yes, we're a little bit over, but we gotta give y'all our parting thoughts and do all our wrap ups and all
But
that
we got
good
on a
stuff.
little late, so I think we balanced it out.
All
Yeah.
right, we in that thing. All right, so for Coach Cookie and Brazilian Studios, one big thing I got coming up, I'm doing Dancing with the Stars, the Texarkana version of it. So Temple Memorial hosts this event every year. It's a fundraiser for Temple Memorial. They do physical therapy, occupational speech, all this good stuff. And they have people to come out and do Dancing with the Stars. So I will be dancing. Aiden is my dancing partner, y'all. We gonna see how this
Okay.
is.
Hey.
That's why you over there working out. You gotta be fine.
Yes. So they do, like, I will have a chance for people to vote for me. So I'll be posting about the votes. So y'all go and vote. Quite honestly, if you know about Temple in this part of town, we don't see a lot of us's in promotion for things like this. So when we see some of us out there, we want to support and be part of it. I want to see our community grow. I want to see us support one another, and I want to see businesses do good business. So you got to be a good business runner as well as a good customer. Like, don't go in running your business shabby and shady and trying to charge 3 times the price and wondering why people talking about you. But at the same time, if you ain't asking Target for no discount, don't ask me for no discount either. So we want to be good customers and good service providers. And this year I am gonna focus a whole lot more on girls' night out because I love it, y'all. I have so much fun. So if y'all want to do a girls' night out, bachelorette party, birthday party, I'm here for it. So book with Coach Cookie because we in this shit, okay? So that's what Coach Cookie got going on right now in Resilient Studios. Still got pole fitness. We're still doing that. I'm still doing dance. I have kind of pulled away from the personal training, but I got some coaches that are doing it. So I'm still offering all your health and wellness needs. Come see me.
Good deal.
Yeah, I'm just gonna need to know how to roll a hip, give my baby. Never mind. I was too fine late. I'm just letting y'all know that I'm still on hype.
Misha, I see turned into Misha when she came, y'all. She was in there doing a percolator, and I ain't gonna never stop telling this story. But it's okay.
Let me let me get my hip action back right, baby. I'm coming over there. I'm turning it out. They gonna be wanting to throw all on me and get me down to the church. I'm like, oh, we got to pray for it. No, I'm good.
We need video. We need video.
They might be in there too. The church folks might be in there too, but I ain't gonna tell nobody else.
Yeah, please live in 2022. But the Lord didn't say that we could enjoy life, and there's nothing wrong with some exercising and all that. That is nothing but getting us, limber and being able to move. Half of us can't even scratch our back because you can't even get back there because you're too tight, too tense. Get over there and grab the pole and swing a little bit. Get a broom, sweep. But go, John, do something. And I'm finna get some knee pads, Cookie, because I'm coming for you on them baby. I'm coming.
Hey, I just want to know those poles. Hey, is those poles secure? I don't want nobody falling.
Okay.
Yeah, they gonna be secure.
I have my big kids come swing on them. Come swing around this pole about 5 times. Let me make sure it's in place good.
Right on.
All right, we want to make sure that y'all check out I Must, which is Triple T's site. She has like t-shirts and stuff on the site. Y'all go and support, tap into it, check out the website, see what's going on. And then T Will, what you got for us?
What'd you say, Cookie? Say that again. You broke all the way up.
Oh, I was telling you to tell us about your show.
Yeah. We started back in February on the Educate and Motivate. We changed up some things and we coming with a lot of information. So y'all make sure y'all tune in and support us. We just want to be able to kind of give back to everyone and just share what we know and share our experiences and stuff like this. So be on the lookout for us. We're gonna start back up in February, but y'all make sure y'all tune in and support us.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to sit over there with you. I may not have a whole nothing to say. I just want to be on the big screen with the boys. I'm gonna be over there with Kanye and Urban, baby.
Hey, look. You're gonna have to make that happen. You're gonna have to get up here to the city, and you're gonna have to. We just gonna all do it in one spot. So you just make sure you tell us when you coming, and we gonna make that happen.
You got it.
All right.
Come to the city.
So I see what we got in store for you. What we supposed to be looking for?
I don't know. Oh, well, let me say this. Let me not say I don't know. So, you know, when that little last part came on about when he was talking about the water, tell me I wrote this. Too afraid to get out the boat because I said it to my son. I said, my son got out the boat and he walked on water. That means he doing what he's supposed to do. And I always self-sabotage myself. And y'all my crew, so y'all know because y'all don't never see me come back on time about nothing. But every time I go somewhere, people are always saying, they was like, I've been looking for you. You know, your videos help me, or when I hear your voice. And that has nothing to do with them. That was me and my mindset, my emotions and stuff like that. And I was just like, nah, I ain't got nothing to say. But the Lord would, here lately, every time I go somewhere, he's like, she's going to say something to you. And she's going to remind you that you have a voice and your voice is needed. So I'm going to have to get back with James because James did send me a nice logo back in 2021, but I never did anything with it. I just told him I wanted to revise it. So I'm going to do that so that I can get on here and use my voice on the show to really talk and to get back to my place of purpose. It really is the wealth of me. And when I'm in this vein, it's my wealth. So I don't want to just be rich in the earth. I want to be wealthy in spirit so that when I leave a legacy, that my voice is still carried on outside of any materialistic thing that I could have ever gained in earth, that my voice will carry healing, wholeness, love, light, and inspiration. Oh, that was just, I felt all that right there. So that, ooh, yeah, there we go. Well, I'm doing better. Look,
see, I just say it out loud. I know that wasn't in the script, but if you say it out loud now, it's on video. So if we need to go back and remind you that you do it, we got proof of it. That's how that was.
Right. I appreciate y'all for doing me like that. I love y'all dearly.
Yes. Flex, you want to talk to us about the professor?
Yeah. Coming up, and that's Deb, I don't know why you turned your nose up like that. That was
Like what?
No, she was mad. She was mad.
I was scratching my
nose.
I know. I'm just getting that booger. Oh, Lord. Hey, listen. So the Professor show is one of the better. I like it. I have so much fun on there with Debbie J and the Professor. This coming Thursday.
I heard what he almost said though. No. Whoa.
No, I heard it. I heard it.
Whoa.
I heard it.
Man,
that's okay.
We'll talk about it.
That's okay. I'm gonna let you, James. I'm gonna bring you in with me, and we'll just get over there, me, you, and Cookie. We'll just be together.
Oh, y'all crazy! I didn't mean. I'm saying it's one of the better shows.
I apologize for interrupting. You were saying no, one of the better shows. The best show.
The one of man, don't do me like that. But hey, it's just funny because I like seeing Debbie and the Professor go at it. Man, they are so funny. But this coming Thursday, he actually has the sex therapist coming on. And we talk about a lot about relationships, but we kind of avoid the whole
sex therapist coming on.
Yeah, a sex therapist, a real life, like that's what she does.
I'm just saying, I just don't see him. I just never that part. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about the importance of sex, the sexual part of a relationship. So sometimes we just talk about all the other stuff. The sexual.
He getting his body back right. He finna go back to this, getting his body chilled. Probably finna build that Genuine and Pony songs playing and stuff.
We might talk about all that, the music, the health, all that, So tune in Thursday at 7:00, and we're gonna talk about it. So
and that's Thursday.
This coming Thursday at 7:00.
I'm getting on because I got to see Debbie and Professor in the sex therapy. I got to be on.
Yeah, please do.
I ain't saying nothing.
Then Greenwood, the podcast. We're gonna kick that back up here soon. Y'all know we ran the campaign. We was trying to get Miss Betty Campbell a power source for her breathing machine. The one that we originally bought wasn't enough, so I went back and raised a little more money. We got her a 10,000 kW generator. And man, she's set. This thing can run her whole house. So shout out to everybody on the show that helps promote it.
What's up in Texas when the lights go out?
Good money and everything. Yeah. So Miss Campbell, she's good to go. She's good to go. That's funny.
Yeah,
well, that's it.
Oh, and Gerard, maybe one day we can all get on here so they can see what all the people on the cast look like the Greenwood. They sit on here with us, so everybody be like, "Oh, that's everybody."
Yeah, that's in the works. That's in the works.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah. Yes. All right. What else we got upcoming? What's upcoming?
I think that's about it for now.
All right. Well, If it is coming up and we forgot to tell y'all, that's why you need to like and follow the page. Then you'll know because we're gonna post about it anyway.
Absolutely.
So do what you're supposed to do, and then you're gonna know what we're doing, okay? So just make sure y'all like it for real. As always, we always say, tell your mama and them, tell your daddy and them. Even if you don't talk to them, just go and shoot them a message about the tell your friends, tell your coworkers. We might even make y'all a poster that you can put up at your office so they can, let me go follow that. And as always, tell your haters because they're going to follow you harder than your friends ever will. They're going to know your answers. So let them tune in and watch too. We can sprinkle them with a little bit of knowledge. Thank you, crew, for joining us tonight. Thank you, audience, for tuning in. We have enjoyed it. Let's hit the outro.
I'm ready to
It's
date.
my turn to tell y'all about my big bro Gerard in the podcast crew. From TJ the realist, Miss Cookie, the professor, and you can't forget about the inspiration sheet. They talk about it all, got advice for us all. You'll never know how deep the talks will go. On the weekdays, the weekends, they be going live with the topics. Then they do the segment where the floor is yours. You can post your comments, you can post your statements, yeah. You can ask your questions, They can help you get your life moving in the right direction. If you need advice on marriage, advice on finance, advice on healing, advice on credit, this the podcast that you need to check out. Go ahead and tune in, you'll feel what I'm talking about.
Baby, I'ma get up for this show. Yeah, baby, I'm all up for this show. Baby, come down to love for this show. Let me show you how I love for this show. Hey, my flow is on. Love for this show. Na 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 na. Flow is on. Love for this show. Na 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 na. Love for this show.
Oh, that's pretty dope. That was pretty dope, Flex.
Be on a big screen.
Hey, I'm learning how to use this thing. All right. Peace out, y'all.
Y'all heard that one Debbie said she ready to date, baby.
Hey.